Yes, indeed. My favorite time of the week has just ended. Dragon Ball Super Episode 12 is in the books. The episode title is Uchu ga Kudakeru Hakaishin Tai Super Saiyajin Godo, which translates to The Universe Crumbles, Clash, the God of Destruction versus Super Saiyan God. That's an awesome freaking name. That is an awesome name. And really, that was the theme of the episode. Now, before we get into the review, I just want to say I reported earlier this week that the original voice of Kai, Joji Yanami, is not feeling very well, so he's been replaced by Naoki Tatsuya, starting with this episode. And Tatsuya did a pretty good impression of Yanami. I'm not sure if that's what he was going for, but he did sound like Yanami. Now, obviously, it's a different guy, but you can tell, but it still sounds pretty close. So kudos to him for trying that. So this episode, pretty much the entire purpose of the episode was to showcase the power that Goku and Beerus had. And actually, I was right about one thing and I was wrong about something else. I was right in that this episode really, like their fight, the whole thing about this episode was that the Kais were constantly afraid that the fight between Goku as a god and Beerus was going to rip a hole in the universe, and that's pretty much what was happening. It was causing major issues, and I predicted on Twitter that I believe that this fight is going to wake up Champa. This whole thing's going to be segueing into Champa's eventual arrival into our universe. I think they are going to rip a hole in the space, just like in the intro of the show, and Universe 6 may come through or vice versa. Some shit's going to go down, and this episode was planting seeds for the future. That's what this episode's purpose was, and it did accomplish it. And to me, that's good writing. Now, was it as good as last week's episode? My opinion, no. It was not as good as last week's episode. This one was a little bit padded out, but still, they are planting seeds for the future, and I'm okay with it. So, basically what happened was Beerus and Goku fly up deeper into space. Whis comes down to Vegeta and shows him the fight on his staff because, unlike some people believe this week, Vegeta is not a god. He can't sense God Ki. I don't know. People, I guess, assume that because he was watching the fight with his eyes. But Whis helped because they were going further and further away from the Earth. So then what happened was they start fighting in space. And most of the episode, this is what I think dragged the episode down. It really kind of got really played out. It was mostly for the first half, it was Goku and Beerus clashing fists. And every time they clashed fists, there would be a ripple, like everywhere on Earth, just all over the universe, or all over the solar system at least. There was like a ripple effect. And the Kais are concerned, what's going to happen with the universe. And even, Kaios Shin even contacted Goku telepathically and was like, Goku, chill out. Goku, chill out. But Goku's like, no, I want to beat this guy. I want to beat this guy. I want to beat this guy. So they're creating these rifts and they're worried, okay, this is totally unexpected. And they have an extra filler scene with Mr. Satan, and he's worried about Videl. Bulma's ship is coming right down on him, and Whis saves him, which is awesome. I love the fact that Whis saved Mr. Satan. That was pretty cool. But anyway, so most of the episode kind of was very padded. Mostly it was, again, even after the commercial break, the Kais were still trying to convince Goku and Beerus to chill out. Then there was a really strange power-up that, I'm not going to lie, guys, I was not impressed by this. It kind of looked really corny. Goku and Beerus charged up their power, and these, like, key dragons came out of them. It was literally like it wasn't as bad, but it reminded me of the animality scene from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That's one of the worst scenes ever in movies. It was really cheesy. I mean, it looked like the evil Shenlongs from the GT saga, the way they were coming out of Dragon Balls. That's what it looked like, and they were like face to face. Very weird power up, and I was really hoping that the dragons wouldn't like fight each other, and thankfully they did not. But again, they, it was a power-up. Then they started going at it again. Boom, boom, boom. Big, and every time they collided, there was a big hole in the universe or in the galaxy or whatever. Again, I do believe this is going to lead into Universe 6. I do think that they are doing something they should not be doing and upsetting the balance of the universe, and that could be a problem. So they keep fighting in space. Goku nails a big right hand to Beerus. Beerus felt that one. And then we get some back and forth action. And then there's the part where Goku nails Beerus with the right hand. Beerus gets cut again. Twice he's been cut. Now, people were wondering, is Beerus weaker or is Goku stronger? I think, compared to Battle of Gods. Because in Battle of Gods, clearly Beerus was way too much for SSJ God Goku. I mean, clearly, but in this version, Goku is doing pretty damn well landing shots on Beerus. Looks like in this version it might actually be much more of an even fight, which I like. I like that a lot. And then that does beg the question, just how strong will the blue-haired form be when we see that in a few episodes? Let's find out. I guess we'll all find out together. So Beerus gets cut. He creates another one of those cosmic beams, which I guess is going to be his new signature move. Throwing the sun at Goku was just for the movie. Goku prepares another Kamehameha. They have this epic godly beam struggle in space. And as they're having this beam struggle, this is hugely epic. I mean, you know, one thing I'll say is I do criticize the fact that the episode was very padded out, very slow, kind of the same bullshit over and over again. But the visuals and the idea behind it were a thumbs up. The hugely epic beam struggle, the entire universe starts to fall apart, and that's where the cliffhanger is. And apparently next week the fight is going to continue, so episode 12 is not the end of Goku versus Beerus. So if you are one of the ones that's going to buy the Blu-ray, just know that it ends at episode 12. So episode 13, I think some shit's going to go down in episode 13. I do think that episode 13 I believe, I'm calling it right now, next week, we're going to see Champa at the end of episode 13. So I was off by one episode. I do think that episode 13 will begin new things. I think that's coming up next week. But this episode ended with the epic beam struggle. Next week, we're going to get a conclusion to that. Someone's going to win the beam struggle. I'm guessing it'll be Beerus. Looks like the planet might actually suffer some damages. Overall, this was a good episode. Again, it was meant to plant the seeds for the future. Nowhere near as good as last week's, but they kind of had to do an episode like this to really showcase not only the power that these two guys have, but the danger it's going to have to the universe, especially in upcoming arcs. So good stuff overall. I know there's already a lot of polarizing going on. I would say this episode, I don't rate these episodes when I do the reviews, but I'm going to give it like a 3.5 out of 5, maybe even a 4 out of 5. Last week was a 5 out of 5. This week, a step down, but still a step in the right direction. People have wanted Dragon Ball characters to be able to do this, to where they're cosmically powerful, can blow up solar systems and planets with ease. You would think they would have been able to accomplish this right around the Cell game, but now we're actually seeing it, so I'm happy with that. Let me know your thoughts below. Did you like the episode? Definitely not a bad episode. Again, planting seeds for what's to come. Next week, I predict Champa, but we'll find out. Thank you for watching my review, and I will catch each and every one of you down the road.